and welcome. uh, Making Comics and Art, episode 368. This is my little 2025 year in review. Rocket agrees. All right. What, buddy? I don't know what he's up to. Anyway, yeah, so I don't love streaming late, I realized. But since it's been chaos so far. You were just outside. I know. Yeah, it's okay. Um, all right, he's distracting me. Sorry. Um, yeah, since my schedule's been all over the place and whatnot. I'm even thinking normally I stream at 4 in the afternoon. Um, I might switch that up. 4 o'clock is a good time from my experience. But I would like to do streaming earlier for my benefit mostly, to do it and have it done before evening. Because sometimes I do you want to go out? Hold on a second. Hold on, folks. He just came in moments ago. Of course, he wants to go back out. One day I'll train him not to go in and out 100 times. But yeah, so I'll figure that out. As it is, yeah, I'll just try things out as I go. You don't come here for a definitive schedule and and whatnot. But I do want to mention I will be doing an interview on a podcast. I'm doing it Tuesday, but I'm not sure if it will air Tuesday. I think they record it and then air it. So I'll find out more about that. And somebody who got in touch with me. I do want to hold off doing a lot on other people's programs. I'm trying to get the light right again. Might go like that. It's yeah. Yeah, I want to hold off because I have a lot going on this year, and I want more. I want to get more work done right now as opposed to promoting stuff that is still in the works and all that jazz. Uh, Obviously, once I get one of my books starts crowdfunding, then I'll jump in. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, this is about last year. And this goes along the lines of just the pure chaos that things have been. This is not going to be a beat by beat presentation of what's happened. It's more a general overview. If you don't know what I'm working on, this piece, I should lighten this better. All right, that's a little better. It really sucks because I wish I used to have this perfect, and I really have to mess with it. I'm gonna get upgrades. I'm gonna upgrade every freaking thing. Right now I'm behind on bills, so it's not gonna happen for a little while. But I gotta start getting in touch with people who have mentioned that they want to work with me, whether that's individual pieces or books or covers. I don't know what. So I'll have to find out. But yeah, this piece is the third piece in the Sword and Sorcery magazine book that will be distributed this year, I believe. I have to actually inquire if I'm getting a copy of it. At the very least, I want to get a PDF of it. I want to see everybody else's work on the book. So, just basically, there's going to be 6 heads along the side, 3 here and 3 here. They're going to be wacky masks. It's a mask party that they'll be attending. This woman had her heart ripped out, which I'm not going to show, but indicate by having her hand over it. And this guy is going to be her assassin. The guy she hired to get her heart back. So it's the general story behind the illustration. It's going to be a book full of short stories with illustrations to a bunch of the stories. I'm pretty sure not all the stories will have illustrations, but a bunch of them, because there are a lot of other artists involved. And while this is, while I penciled this, there's still a lot more I want to do and fix on it. So it's only loosely what the final piece is going to be. But that's enough about that. do want to mention is last year, and if you've been following along, if you've been watching my videos, you know that a lot didn't go as planned last year. As it is, it's like I got so many projects at various points working on them, and that represents like a lot of what happened last year. It just a lot of chaos, a lot of delays, a lot of really just panicking over, like, is this project moving forward? Am I going to be getting pages? A lot of that. And, the biggest project I got is, it's 150 pages total, give or take. I got a small batch of pages from the artist, and she never delivered more pages. But the whole time we were promised pages from her. Things happen, life happens, but if you say you're going to deliver and don't, you really screw up other people. So finally, I just asked her outright, and she confessed that, well, she didn't really confess. She eventually just quit, and so we had to get another artist. But yeah, I'm hoping like this year goes a hell of a lot smoother, so I'm not behind the 8 ball so much. And I am definitely going to make a point of it to do what I can on my side of things so that I'm not waiting on other people. And I have enough income coming in, and all the things that make freelancing a lot easier. But yeah, so there were major hiccups and small hiccups along the way of last year. And like I said, I was panicking, and it's like if I knew now what I knew then, what was going to go down, I would have done things a lot differently. And I'm taking some of that into the new year. Try to avoid project issues to where it doesn't affect my momentum or especially my income. So yeah, like I said, this is not going to be a play-by-play of what happened, but more general overlook. Because I want to finish off a lot of projects, decades worth of projects And, you know, some of that is my fault. I mean, like, you know, I could have went out and got a day job and not relied on making money through comics and art. But things are, you know, things are better now. And, you know, I occasionally have some sales. You know, I'm getting little money here and there. I got 10 different projects. So as I move forward with some of them, I'm getting a little money here and there. And, you know, it's just a balancing act. And, you know, my old system of working was get one job, work on that one job, finish that job, and go look for the next job. But uh, because of a lot of things have progressed, I have a lot of different projects. Not all of them are huge, you know, like the 150-page graphic novel. I do have still want to work on and finish the Designated with Mark Torres. 2 issues of that are inked. I would love to get the last 3 issues of that done and off my table. Mark told me he's possibly looking at publishers because we crowdfunded the first issue in black and white, and made a couple of bucks from that. He tried to do the second issue, wasn't successful, so now he's looking into publishers, somebody essentially to do it for him. And hopefully there's more success with that, because it is a really good book. I would love to see it printed and published, and, you know, for that matter, in color, because I always saw it as a color book. Yeah, it looks fine in black and white, but it will look gorgeous in color. Well, with the light, bright colors, of course, of course. So yeah, you know, like, I can't even tell you half the stuff I did this past year. It's been so chaotic, and you know, when you're struggling and panicking and just trying to eke out a living, um, I was doing anything. You know, I didn't sell any comic books last year, but that's something I've done in the past. You know, it's like I have a small stack of books, and you know, I figure most of that I'll save to when I do conventions one day. And because I'm really, like, you know, I'm going to be focused this year on getting a lot of work done. I might show up at one convention, but I'm not planning to table. You know, if tabling happens, I'll let people know, but I'd rather spend my time getting a heck of a lot of work done. the plan at the moment. I will say, if you happen to be watching this, whether live or after the fact, and you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. I'm definitely going to be working on growing my channel, which is something I was successful at last year. This channel has grown, not tremendously, a couple of leaps, a couple of bounds, but I really would love if it was monetized, and I'm going to have to make a bigger leap than I did last year. I want to be more consistent, so I want to get my bills straightened out so that I can, I use StreamYard. Would like to pay for the upgrade, so the unlimited streaming. So I would at least stream 5 times a week. Maybe I would then, use it also to stream on Facebook and Twitch and other places, whether separately or at the same time. I could play around with that. It's something I've done in the past. And sometimes it's helpful. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm just sort of mapping this out a little bit. Before I figure out exactly the detail I want. I know she has leather boots, and she's sort of wearing a dress of some sort, but I want to actually think about the detail I want to put into her outfit, and sketchy on her hands, and her face is fine, I guess. So I'm just holding off on certain things here. It's funny. I watch other artists stream while they're working on art, and it seems to be a common thing. It's like, I'm just going to work on what is definitely working at the moment, but I'll hold off on what I need to focus on, actually think about before moving forward. I will say, like, of the 3 pieces, the other 2 pieces I've done, one is kind of a lot more white, and the second one I did was more drawing on the page, so more gray. This one, I really want to have it a lot more black. You'll see as I progress on the piece. But yeah, so overall, like last year, I wanted to try to avoid major hiccups, and not panic as much as on minor things that happen along the way. Because in the end, it's like I can only control me and what I'm doing. One of the things I want to focus on is just being more productive. It's like when I started in this industry over 34 years ago, it's like it was easy to put in long days. Now it's like it's not so easy for me to do that. It's like I get tired a lot earlier than I used to. But we're talking, now it started over 34 years ago. So yeah, I'm gonna work up towards putting in longer days, work up towards, getting my endurance up, and being able to just get more work done. Um, one of the major things I'm going to be doing, I guess this is going to be a combination of last year and what I'm planning to do next year. I was thinking about doing another video for this year, but they kind of go together, I guess. Um, so yeah, one of the things I plan to do this year, at least for the probably first quarter, um, is I'm not going to watch any TV. There was one exception. I did want to finish watching um, Stranger Things, which I did, and it was only the last episode. I mean, the last episode was just over 2 hours, but you get what I mean. So yeah, without watching as much television, I'm still gonna watch. Is a ton of YouTubers I follow, people I like to keep track of. Obviously, as I post stuff online, I'm also checking out what friends are up to and what other artists are up to, and the whole interaction thing and all that. Uh, but I'm going to do it more this time with feeling. Say just more with purpose, who I interact with and how I interact and all that. I started TikTok last year, and so far it's done me well. I don't have any extra dollars in my pocket yet, but uh, hopefully by people I interact with and meet there leads to paying gigs. We shall see. Well, if 3 or 4 of them have told me they're interested in working with me. So we'll see where that goes. I hear one of my neighbors out there yakking. It's like they could be next door, they could be a block away. Some of them talk really loud. Anyway, so if I develop a new time to stream, um, like, if I streamed this at 4 o'clock earlier, but I was busy doing other things, um, I would have definitely had more people in the chat. Like, there's a couple of people watching, but nobody's interacting, which is fine. I want to find a good time earlier. It might mean sometime in the morning, where I can have enough wiggle room if I choose to do longer streams. It won't affect other things. It's also like if I want to get anything done during the day, having to stream midday really screws me up because I'm trying to get places, post office, or go shopping or do laundry, anything outside of here. That I have to get to other places before they close or what have you. I kind of feel like I want to have a few, you know, points of interest in this video. Like, it's just generally like last year was rough, and hopefully I learned a lot more. I've sort of been the last 4 or 5 years been going through a different cycle. But I'm definitely, I want to clean up my workload because I mean, at the very least, I feel like not necessarily more in the flow, but that I got a handle on my work and my work habits better than I did like even a year ago. Um, so so yeah, I can actually manage myself and my time better, and I don't feel like I'm at zero, like just starting over after a pause. I do want to plan things as far as I can plan. Um, Doing work for other people. Yeah, and I definitely want to knock out a lot of projects because I feel like if one of the things I have achieved in the last year, it's like I know my skills are here. And I'm always working to improve things. But for a while there, I felt really rusty and out of the game of being more social. Um, specifically like after my ex passed, and it's like I was really just lost the whole flow of everything. But now I feel more back into it, and my cat wants back in. I should let him stay out there. um, but yeah, so technically with this piece, there's a lot more I want to figure out before I really go in and ink a lot of it. But I've gone just over 35 minutes. So I won't go much longer. Trust me, this is going to look decent. um, but yeah, I am so stoked for this year coming up and to close the book on getting work done on a lot of the projects. I mean, if you add up my workload, it's like decades of books that have been shelved and whatnot. Um, and it's all about me managing my time better. You know, communication with people I'm working with going better, a lot of that jazz. So yeah, thanks for watching those that did show up, even if we didn't all communicate here. Um, I will be streaming next week, probably. Well, I'm not even going to say because I may jump on tomorrow or whenever. But yeah, I like I said, I do want to stream more, and as soon as I get an opportunity again, I will. Um, so yeah, keep making art, keep making comics, keep checking out what I'm up to.